The National Electrical Code, or NEC, establishes minimum height requirements for electrical panel installations in dwellings to ensure safety and accessibility. Mounting a panel too low is a violation of these codes and presents several hazards. The primary concern is accessibility. The NEC mandates that the top of the overcurrent devices, such as circuit breakers, in a panel should not be located more than 6 feet 7 inches above the finished floor or working platform. This requirement ensures that individuals of varying heights can safely operate and maintain the electrical panel. A panel mounted too low can create difficulties in reaching the breakers, especially for taller individuals, potentially leading to awkward or unsafe positions. This can be particularly problematic during emergencies when quick access to the breakers is crucial. Furthermore, low-mounted panels are more susceptible to physical damage. They are more likely to be bumped, kicked, or otherwise impacted, especially in high-traffic areas. Such impacts can damage the panel enclosure, the breakers, or the wiring, leading to electrical hazards such as shorts, ground faults, or even fires. Children are also at greater risk when panels are mounted too low. They may be able to reach the panel and tamper with the breakers, potentially causing electrical shock or other injuries. The NEC aims to minimize this risk by requiring panels to be mounted at a height that makes them less accessible to children. Moisture and flooding are also significant concerns when panels are installed close to the floor. In the event of a flood or water leak, a low-mounted panel is more likely to come into contact with water, creating a severe electrical shock hazard. This is particularly important in basements or other areas prone to flooding. Inspectors will specifically check panel height during electrical inspections. A panel mounted too low will result in a failed inspection, and the homeowner will be required to correct the violation. This can involve relocating the panel, which can be a costly and time-consuming process. To avoid these issues, it is crucial to adhere to the NEC guidelines for panel height. Ensure that the top of the highest breaker is no more than 6 feet 7 inches above the finished floor or working platform. When planning the location of an electrical panel, consider the surrounding environment. Avoid areas prone to moisture or flooding, and choose a location that is easily accessible and free from obstructions. Proper planning and installation are essential for ensuring the safety and compliance of electrical systems in dwellings. Ignoring the minimum height requirements for electrical panels can have serious consequences, including electrical hazards, code violations, and potential injuries. Adhering to the NEC guidelines protects occupants and ensures the safe and reliable operation of the electrical system. In addition to the maximum height requirement, the NEC also addresses the minimum working space around electrical equipment. Section 110.26 of the NEC specifies the required working space in front of electrical equipment, including panels. This working space must be clear and unobstructed, providing sufficient room for electricians or other qualified personnel to safely work on the equipment. The depth of the working space depends on the voltage of the equipment and the presence of any exposed live parts. For example, for equipment operating at 150 volts to ground or less, the minimum working space depth is typically 3 feet. For equipment operating at higher voltages, the working space depth increases accordingly. The width of the working space must be at least 30 inches wide or the width of the equipment, whichever is greater. This ensures that there is enough room for personnel to move around and work comfortably. The height of the working space must be at least 6 feet 6 inches or the height of the equipment, whichever is greater. This ensures that there is adequate headroom for personnel to work without bumping their heads. In addition to the working space requirements, the NEC also addresses the lighting and access requirements for electrical equipment. Section 110.26d of the NEC requires that sufficient illumination be provided for working on electrical equipment. This typically means providing a light fixture that provides adequate lighting levels in the working space. Section 110.26e of the NEC requires that there be clear and unobstructed access to electrical equipment. This means that there should be a clear path from the entrance to the equipment, without any obstructions such as furniture, boxes, or other items. It is important to note that these are just some of the basic requirements for electrical panel installations. There may be other requirements that apply depending on the specific installation and the local codes. It is always a good idea to consult with a qualified electrician to ensure that the electrical panel is installed correctly and safely. When selecting a location for an electrical panel, consider the following factors. Firstly, the location should be easily accessible and free from obstructions. Secondly, the location should be protected from moisture and flooding. Thirdly, the location should be well lit and ventilated. Fourthly, the location should be away from combustible materials. Fifthly, the location should be in a secure area to prevent unauthorized access. Once you have selected a suitable location for the electrical panel, you will need to install it according to the manufacturer's instructions and the NEC. Be sure to use the correct wiring methods and grounding techniques. Always turn off the power before working on electrical equipment. If you are not comfortable working with electricity, hire a qualified electrician to do the work. Electrical work can be dangerous if not done properly. It is always best to err on the side of caution and hire a professional to do the work. Here are some additional tips for installing electrical panels. Use a level to ensure that the panel is mounted straight. Use the correct size screws and anchors to secure the panel to the wall. Make sure that all wiring connections are tight and secure. Label all circuit breakers clearly. Test the panel after installation to ensure that it is working properly. By following these tips, you can help ensure that your electrical panel is installed safely and correctly. Remember, safety is always the top priority when working with electricity. If you have any questions or concerns, consult with a qualified electrician. They can provide you with expert advice and guidance to ensure that your electrical system is safe and compliant with all applicable codes. It is important to understand the significance of the National Electrical Code, or NEC, in ensuring electrical safety. The NEC is a comprehensive set of standards that govern the safe installation and maintenance of electrical systems. It is developed and updated regularly by the National Fire Protection Association, or NFPA, and is widely adopted by jurisdictions across the United States. The NEC covers a wide range of electrical topics, including wiring methods, grounding, overcurrent protection, and equipment installation. It provides detailed requirements for ensuring that electrical systems are installed and maintained in a manner that minimizes the risk of fire, electric shock, and other hazard. Compliance with the NEC is essential for protecting people and property from electrical hazards. Electrical inspectors use the NEC as a basis for evaluating electrical installations and ensuring that they meet the minimum safety standards. Violations of the NEC can result in fines, penalties, and even legal action. In addition to the NEC, there may be other local codes and regulations that apply to electrical installations. It is important to be aware of these requirements and to ensure that all electrical work is performed in accordance with them. When hiring an electrician, be sure to choose a licensed and qualified professional. A licensed electrician has the knowledge and experience to perform electrical work safely and correctly. They will also be familiar with the NEC and other applicable codes. Before starting any electrical work, obtain the necessary permits from your local building department. Permits are required for most electrical projects, and they help ensure that the work is performed in accordance with the codes. When planning an electrical project, consider the long-term needs of your home or building. It is often more cost-effective to install additional capacity than to have to upgrade the system later. For example, you may want to install a larger electrical panel than you currently need to accommodate future expansion. When selecting electrical equipment, choose products that are listed by a recognized testing laboratory, such as Underwriters Laboratories, or all. Listed products have been tested and certified to meet safety standards. Always follow the manufacturer's instructions when installing electrical equipment. Improper installation can create a safety hazard. Regularly inspect your electrical system for any signs of damage or wear. Look for frayed wires, cracked insulation, and loose connections. If you find any problems, have them repaired by a qualified electrician immediately. Never attempt to repair electrical equipment yourself unless you are a qualified electrician. Electrical work can be dangerous if not done properly. If you have any questions or concerns about your electrical system, consult with a qualified electrician. They can provide you with expert advice and guidance to ensure that your system is safe and reliable. By following these guidelines, you can help ensure the safety of your home or building and protect yourself and others from electrical hazards. Remember, electricity is a powerful force that must be treated with respect. Taking the necessary precautions can help prevent accidents and ensure the safe operation of your electrical system. The accessibility requirements outlined in the NEC are not limited to just the height of the overcurrent devices. They also extend to the working clearances around the electrical panel. Sufficient space must be maintained in front of the panel to allow for safe operation and maintenance. This working space must be clear of any obstructions, such as storage boxes, furniture, or other items. The depth of the working space is determined by the voltage of the equipment and the presence of any exposed live parts. For example, for equipment operating at 150 volts to ground or less, the minimum working space depth is typically 3 feet. The width of the working space must be at least 30 inches wide, or the width of the equipment, whichever is greater. The height of the working space must be at least 6 feet 6 inches, or the height of the equipment, whichever is greater. These working clearances are essential for ensuring that electricians and other qualified personnel can safely access and work on the electrical panel. They provide enough room to maneuver and avoid contact with live parts. In addition to the working clearances, the NEC also requires that the electrical panel be readily accessible. This means that it should be located in a place where it can be easily reached without having to climb over or move any obstacles. The panel should not be located behind locked doors or in areas that are difficult to access. The accessibility requirements are particularly important in emergency situations. In the event of a fire or other emergency, it is crucial to be able to quickly and easily access the electrical panel to shut off the power. A panel that is difficult to access can delay the response time and potentially increase the risk of injury or property damage. The NEC also addresses the labeling requirements for electrical panels. Each circuit breaker in the panel must be clearly labeled to indicate the circuits that it controls. The labels should be legible and durable, and they should accurately reflect the function of each breaker. Proper labeling is essential for troubleshooting and maintenance. It allows electricians and homeowners to quickly identify and isolate circuits when necessary. The NEC also requires that the electrical panel be properly grounded. Grounding is a safety measure that helps to protect against electric shock. It provides a path for fault current to flow back to the source, which can trip the circuit breaker and shut off the power. The grounding system must be installed in accordance with the NEC requirements. It should include a grounding electrode, a grounding conductor, and a bonding conductor. The grounding electrode is typically a metal rod that is driven into the ground. The grounding conductor connects the grounding electrode to the electrical panel. The bonding conductor connects the metal parts of the electrical system to the grounding system. Proper grounding is essential for preventing electric shock and ensuring the safe operation of the electrical system. The NEC also addresses the overcurrent protection requirements for electrical panels. Overcurrent protection devices, such as circuit breakers and fuses, are designed to protect the electrical system from overloads and short circuits. They are sized to match the ampacity of the circuits that they protect. The NEC provides detailed requirements for the selection and installation of overcurrent protection devices. It specifies the maximum allowable ampacity for different types of conductors and the minimum interrupting rating for circuit breakers. Proper overcurrent protection is essential for preventing fires and protecting electrical equipment from damage. The NEC also addresses the wiring methods that are permitted for use in electrical panels. The NEC specifies the types of conductors that can be used, the methods for installing the conductors, and the requirements for protecting the conductors from damage. The wiring methods must be installed in accordance with the NEC requirements. They should be neat and workmanlike, and they should be properly supported and secured. Proper wiring methods are essential for ensuring the safe and reliable operation of the electrical system. The NEC also addresses the environmental considerations for electrical panels. Electrical panels should be located in areas that are protected from moisture, dust, and other contaminants. They should also be located in areas that are well ventilated to prevent overheating. In corrosive environments, special precautions may be necessary to protect the electrical panel from corrosion. These precautions may include using corrosion-resistant materials or applying a protective coating to the panel. Proper environmental considerations are essential for ensuring the long-term reliability of the electrical system. The NEC is a complex and comprehensive set of standards. It is important to consult with a qualified electrician to ensure that all electrical work is performed in accordance with the NEC requirements. A qualified electrician can provide you with expert advice and guidance to ensure that your electrical system is safe and compliant with all applicable codes. Remember, safety is always the top priority when working with electricity. Taking the necessary precautions can help prevent accidents and ensure the safe operation of your electrical system.